That's hard. And I'm not even gonna mix it or master it.
Bolo!
What is good, you guys? Before we get started in the video, if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I love when you guys go in the comment section and comment, and please turn on those post notifications so you guys will know when I have another video available. And at the end of this video, if you like it, hit that thumbs up. If you do not like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs down. As you guys already know, I really don't care. And today, I know you guys are going to hit me up in the comment section and tell me all of the reasons why this is wrong, and I'm going to tell you my reasons why this is right for me. It's not going to be right for everybody, but it's going to be right for me. So basically, I've made videos about mixing and, showing you guys how to mix and what I use to mix my beats or whatever, but recently I have completely stopped mixing my beats. Like, I don't mix them at all. What I do now is I do some gain staging and stuff like that. I had come to the realization that when I'm in the studio making beats for artists, nobody's worried about how the beat sounds or how the beat is mixed. Because a lot of times when I'm making my beats, there are artists present and I'm just making a track. And we're going off pure feeling and pure emotion. And every single beat that I've pretty much placed in my life, except for one, was always made in the studio with artists. And as I recall, not one time have I heard the artist say, "Yo, bro, we can't use that beat. You didn't mix it." Now, let's be totally honest. I understand some of you guys are not the type of producers that are in the studios with artists. Some of you guys are making beats out of your house and you might be selling them on different platforms like Airbit or BeatStars or something like that. Now, in that type of situation right there, you do have to present your beat in a certain way because it has to stand out amongst all of the other beats that are on that site. And yes, having a good mix does help your beat stand out, and it does help your brand as well. However, for somebody like me who is constantly in the studio with artists, I don't necessarily have to do that. And to be truthfully honest with you, I don't have to master it either. And a lot of my beats come out very, very, very hot. Like, it's peaking, it's distorted. And I think a lot of you guys have taken this whole distortion thing completely all out of whack. A lot of you guys who are out here making beats and are mixing your beats, you try to do everything for that beat not to distort. And a lot of times when you're doing that, you're taking the life and you're taking the character out of these beats. This is what a lot of people don't tell you. A lot of the sounds, even if it's not peaking, they are still distorted because a lot of these sounds have been replicated, have been detuned, tuned, and they basically added distortion. And this is the crazy thing about it. Like, what is rock? Rock is nothing but distortion. The guitars are distorted. Well, not all rock, but most of the stuff is distorted, but it's just distorted and it's kept under zero. So it's still distortion, but it gives character. Me, I'm not scared of distortion. I'm not scared of having my beats turned all the way up to where it just sounds just all funky and out of whack. But at the end of the day, that funky and out of whack sounds good. And that's what people have to understand. Some people are too busy trying to make beats with their eyes rather than with their ears. At the end of the day, you just need sounds that sound good. And that's why I don't mix, because what I do is I try to pick the best sounds that fit for what I'm trying to do. I don't pick a bad sound and then spend 30 minutes trying to fix it, because that's what mixing is. Mixing is to fix a problem. But if the problem doesn't need to be fixed, you don't have to necessarily mix it like that. You can just turn some things up and turn some things down. And another thing I see is a lot of you guys talking about mastering and all that stuff like that. Yeah, that's cool, but unless you're just like a really real master engineer that has all of the mastering stuff, I haven't really met, but probably, I can't say that, maybe about 8 to 10 people who really just master like that, and they're really dope. Come on now, stay up. Don't you go blank on me yet. But yeah, I have seen some guys who can do like a really good job mastering beats or whatever like that, but it's very few. But it still doesn't sound like some of these top mastering engineers when they get done with it. Like, just having that real gear, it just really makes a huge difference. So I really don't master my beats. I basically leave my beats where they're at, and I leave my beats peaking. Like this beat right here. Let me show you something. It's peaking like crazy, but it sounds good. It sounds good. So yeah, like a lot of times when I send my beats out, I don't even put any mastering stuff on it because as you can see, is peaking pretty loud. And just about all of my homeboys, everybody who I produce with, when they're making beats, they are not even thinking about the master track. They're thinking about, how I'm gonna get this thing done as fast as possible so we can go ahead and get it to the artist. And I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Like, I was watching, I think it was CLA Wu the other day, and they had T-Minus on there, and he said something very, very, very cool, and it made sense. When you're in the studio with these artists, you're not thinking about mixing and mastering. You let the engineer do that. Even if you are the engineer. If you're the engineer, then just go ahead and make the track, get the artist on the track, and then you can take care of all the mixing stuff at your leisure once the track is done. Because if you're in the studio with these artists, you don't have no time to be sitting here saying, hey, wait a minute, before you guys go in that booth, I gotta mix and master this track. No, because everybody's going off a vibe. And sometimes that vibe can be created with somebody there, and sometimes it can be created when somebody's not there. So to be honest, just about all of my stuff that I've ever sent out that's got picked has always been stuff that I didn't really ever mix, or I never mastered it either. They just went off a vibe. And I tell people all the time, you can sit here and spend 3 hours on the track trying to mix it, master it, do everything else. But if the track doesn't have a vibe, it's just wasted either way. So you can have the best sounding track ever, but if it's not decent production, nobody's gonna pick it up. But you can have a really good production that does not sound the best, and people will pick it up because it fits the vibe. And then the last point, mixing is subjective. Some stuff that you could have sat there and mixed for 3 hours, 4 hours may sound good to you and somebody else, but then you might play it for the next person. They might say, well, hey, yeah, I would have turned the kick down, I would have turned the snare down. Like, for real, mixing is subjective. So a lot of times when I send these beats out, a lot of people would tell me like, yo, what did you do? How'd you get the kick to sound that way? What'd you do with the snare? How'd you get the hi-hat? What'd you do with the sounds? What'd you make the sounds sound like that? And all I simply say is, I did nothing. I just maybe might have turned something down and maybe turned it up. Or what'd you use in your master? Nothing. And they're like, you didn't do anything? I'm like, no, I didn't do nothing. And they're shocked. You don't have to sit here and spend your time on just mixing everything to the T, unless you are presenting your stuff maybe like on, like I said before, Airbit, BeatStars or something like that, and you need to stand out amongst the crowd. But if you are just in a studio setting and you're producing for an artist and you need to hurry up and get it done, there's really no need for it, because their ears are going to be tamed to what you're doing at that point, and they're not going to be worried about the mix until it gets done. A lot of times I might sit here and make a beat, but then the mix engineer might get it and they'll mix it to the specs, and then sometimes you get the mix back and be like, yo, what the hell did they do to my mix? Like, that doesn't sound good at all. Because sometimes people might add too much stuff or might take too much stuff out and make it sound thin. I like to keep all of my stuff exactly how it sounds. I want my kick to sound the way it needs to sound. I need my snare to sound the way it needs to sound. And I don't need all that extra stuff down. If some things might have some bottom end in it that might need to cut, I might cut that, but I'm not really gonna do too much anymore. Like, for real. All those plugins and everything I bought so much mastering stuff over the years. To be honest with you, I don't even use it anymore. Not to say that you don't need it, but just me, I don't use it when I'm making beats. Now, when I'm mixing a whole record, that's something totally different. If I'm mixing vocals with the beat and we got to send it off to get mastered and stuff like that, that's something totally different. But just me making beats, I don't do it anymore. You guys let me know, do you guys sit here and take a lot of time mixing your beats, or do you guys just kind of make the beat, and if it sounds good, it sounds good? Maybe might slap a little L2 on it or something. Or do you guys just let it rip? Doesn't matter if it peaks or not. So you guys let me know. Hope you guys learned something from it. Hope you guys enjoyed what I was saying. And like I always say, peace out. And hit me in the comment section about this topic. Yeah.